Hey, welcome to the Anxious and Secure podcast. Today we're talking about the body keeps score, and I'm going to summarize this a little bit for you, however, through the lens of attachment theory and anxious attachment style, my expertise, and really healing your anxious attachment style and your nervous system. And this book is really something would have helped me years ago. Unfortunately, I found it too late, but it explains so well what really happens in your body when you're trying to heal your anxious attachment style, or if you don't heal. And it's written by Bessel van der Kolk. Disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or a doctor. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or heal any mental health condition. If you're in an abusive relationship or dealing with severe mental health challenges, always seek professional advice. I'm so sorry, I'm so bad at pronouncing names, so my apologies. But basically, I went through huge health scares a while back. It must have been now 7 years ago. Like 4 years, I battled silent migraines. Not sure if you're a migraine sufferer. Yes, I'm so sorry for you as well. But like silent migraine is a migraine where you have vision problems for like few minutes only, 10 minutes, and then you get a sharp pain of headaches. But years ago, I was like consistently getting more and more headaches and migraines. Not headaches, it's migraines. And at some point on my birthday, it ended up so bad that this vision problem didn't go away. I had it for weeks and weeks. It was on my birthday, the 23rd of December, lasted over the whole Christmas period when I was in Germany celebrating or wanting to celebrate the time with my family. I had to take a flight back home. Luckily, I was with my partner. So, I was still able to see things, but not great. It was really impacting my sanity, and I had brain fog and everything. So I had to go back home to England, to London at that time. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't do anything. I was just trying to change doctors in hospitals, and some of them first didn't know what it was. So, I had to go to eye doctors and thought something was wrong with my vision. I'm turning blind, something like this. Some of them at the end minimized my feelings and my symptoms, just saying it's just migraine. And I'd be like, okay, that is kind of good, but also bad, because there's not that much you can do for migraines. They're supposed to last only for a few hours, maybe days, maybe even up to a week, but only the visual problems, only a few minutes, and that's it. But I couldn't really see, I couldn't do anything. I was impacted everything of my life. I couldn't even Google a doctor or hospital how to go somewhere, because it was so bad. And I was living, it was a terrible time. I was able to go to a neurologist. At first I was put on a wait list for like 6 months. I was like 6 months in this state. That's impossible. I would lose my job and everything. But in the end, luckily, I was like checking the wait list every day to see if there was a spot. And I was seeing a neurologist that gave me some tablets I'm still on nowadays, to prevent this from happening again. If you have an anxious attachment style, you're living basically a life of fight or flight. Basically a low-key survival. Your body is hijacking. Your body is being hijacked. You are always anxious. You're insecure. You're hiding. You're worrying. You're being anxious. You're worrying about the future all the time. You're not being present in the moment, present in your body. And eventually, after 30 years, it will have an impact. If it's migraines, if it's chronic migraines suddenly, if it's bladder issues and you're getting IBS, something is going to happen. First, it could start with just like some headaches, which turn into migraines. And eventually, it turns chronic if nothing is solved, if you push your emotions away, if you don't work on it. So I want to share not just my own personal stories, but I actually want to back up what I'm talking about based on this book and give you a summary of what the book is sharing in my words, and then actually talking through a lens through anxious attachment style. So based on like 10 core key takeaways I've kind of found very helpful. So let me know on the YouTube comments what your takeaways are and what I should go deeper in. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. This is literally just my point of view, bits and bobs, my thoughts on this. So here are the 10 lessons that I took away from The Body Keeps the Score, merged with attachment theory. So one is Trauma lives in your body, not just in your mind. And that is a huge lesson, a little lesson. Because if you have an anxious attachment style, there might be a huge chance that you're living in your head, and not just in your head, like literally in either the past, replaying past conversation, thinking about the future, or what if my partner leaves? What if they're going to cheat? What if they're going to break up? What if? And you know your partner loves you, maybe, yes, but your body still panics, even if you are with a good partner, even if your partner gives you the reassurance and safety and connection. Because a lot of times my clients come to me and they do say, hey, you know what? My partner does reassure me. They are there for me. I do know deep down they are a good person. However, I still don't feel good enough. I still feel insecure. And that is, unstuck emotions that are coming from the past that have never really been released. And you can't think your way into safety. It has to come from your body first. And maybe it's like a tight chest, or like a racing heart, or like a gut drop you experience. And it's your body holding old pain from being ignored or dismissed or feeling abandoned or feeling rejected that needs to be processed. With an anxious attachment style, your nervous system is remembering danger even when your mind knows better. Because as a kid and as a baby, rejection or abandonment, or even perceived abandonment or rejection, was a threat for your survival, right? But nowadays, if your partner leaves you, if your friends forgot your birthday, it will remind your body and your mind of the same thing, but you're safe. You can experience this and you can still have a fulfilling life. Plus, it also remembers that years back within our ancestors' history, that it also was there a sign for death. When they kicked you out of their group and rejected you and abandoned you, that also meant death. So it's also a survival instinct and a deep ingrained pattern we want to rewire. Second, anxious attachment is a hypervigilant survival response, and your nervous system is always scanning for signs of rejection, distance. Every few seconds, your body and your mind is scanning for signs of, is it safe? Is it dangerous? Or is it life-threatening? So every few milliseconds, it's like scanning the information it sees through these lenses. So when your partner is quiet, or when they don't reply as many times to you, or they take longer to reply, and you then double text and triple text, your body literally screams, I am not safe. This is a sign of rejection, of abandonment. We know this from the past. And this is your body's way of trying to protect you, even though you are already protected and safe and you're okay. Even if it ends up hurting you in relationships long term, you then still act usually on like being hypervigilant, watching your partner's every move, noticing micro moments and mood swings and mood shifts, and reinforcing this hypervigilancy. 3, you can't think your way out of a triggered body. So affirmations and logic doesn't calm your nervous system when it's on high alert. You need body-based somatic tools like a butterfly hug or deep humming. I always hum when I'm nervous, or just as an everyday little tiny humming moments to literally soothe myself, my vagus nerve, and gentle shaking. When I'm sitting a lot of times on my couch, on my computer, so just getting up, just even every 20 minutes, half an hour, just like shaking myself, like my entire body. This is already so healing, because it's like a little nervous system reset. That's what dogs do as well, right? My partner's parents' dog, Maya, she shakes herself every time she like has a little scare, or when she just gets up, she does that like 50 times a day at least. I don't know. I haven't Googled and researched that how many times dogs do this, but like they're already releasing their nerves energy. So how many times do you want to do this, for example? Tiny little things like this, or like singing as well. And it tells your body that you're safe. And healing anxious attachment means calming your body first and then rewiring your thoughts later. So there's a time and place where you want to tell yourself soothing and calming words. And 4 is stored trauma is stuck emotional energy. So the tightness in your chest, or like a racing heart, or when you're getting some sweaty palms, it's not that you're overreacting. It's your body holding those feelings from your past pain that never really fully got felt in your body. So many anxious attachers grew up needing to stay silent or hiding their feelings and walking on eggshells. So now the body's saying, can we just allow ourselves to feel this, to process it, to release it? Every time when you sit with emotions and allow it to be there and to process it, and even to do like little body scan to notice where do you feel this in your body, this energy. You're releasing part of this stuck energy, of this anxious energy into the air, let's say. 5 is you don't heal by just being chill in air quotes, or you heal by being safe, actually. So what do I mean with this? So trying to be like low maintenance or not asking for too much is just another response to protect yourself. It's like a fawn response, or even sometimes freeze, depending on what you're doing. True healing is about honoring your needs and feeling safe enough to express them without fear, or saying it even when you're fearing fear in your body. Your nervous system rewires when it experiences real safety over and over again, even if it's in micro moments, when you create capacity for it. So don't people please or pretend and fawn around your partner or colleagues or friends. Allow yourself to be authentic in micro moments at a time. And when you build capacity and prove yourself that, hey, you know what? This wasn't too bad. I was able to say my truth and be who I was, and I was allowed to be who I was. And it wasn't maybe a little bit uncomfortable first, but it was okay. It felt much better than pretending and hiding. And this is also creating safety over time within you. And 6 is emotional neglect creates attachment wounds. So being unseen or unheard or dismissed as a child creates a deep pain for closeness, right? You really have this huge craving for physical and emotional closeness with anyone, friends, partners. Like, I always realized I don't want surface level contacts when I'm going to a party. I hate small talk. I just want like deep emotional bonds with someone. I prefer going deep into, I don't know, what we like, what we don't like, about core wounds, about anything that really bonds us to make us, connected. I don't want to pretend about, oh, how was your day? Great. I don't care. I really want to talk about how are you doing, really. And I always used to tend to overshare through these moments. Yeah, and your body and nervous system were waiting for safety that never really consistently came, because anxious attachment style is built and created through inconsistency, like sometimes your parents were there, sometimes they were not. Sometimes they were very loving, and sometimes they were too busy, maybe snapping at you. So this creates this anxious attachment pattern of craving connection, but then really fearing abandonment at the same time. You really want closeness, but actually you're holding parts in, you're not really opening your heart for it. And the 7th lesson I've learned personally from the book, healing starts with regulation and not logic. Again, a little bit similar of what we talked before, but here I want to say that your brain can't learn new beliefs if your body feels under attack. So grounding, breath work, and gentle movement can help your nervous system to take the first steps and to ground yourself in the present moment, and not to be too far ahead in future, not to relive and re-traumatize yourself. It is about being, you know what, we are here. It's safe to be here right now. You don't have to jump ahead and create anxiety about the future or have regrets about the past and replay those moments. It's okay to be here, even if it's just in micro moments. You are able to connect with the sun and experience the warmth that it gives you when it touches your skin. The other day I was taking a walk outside. I'm living here in Sicily now. We've moved from London to Sicily, my partner and I, and there are these amazing tiny little birds that are like flying around like in swarms, and it's so beautiful. They come out when it's like their feeding time. It's just before sunset and at sunrise, and it's incredible beautiful. But so many people don't see that. They just, take a walk and are busy and rushing, and maybe some of them are just got used to it already because they are grown up here, but others are just like, they're in their minds and worrying and are anxious and are thinking 10 steps ahead, and they're not present with the moment. They're not romanticizing their lives. And that used to be so me. And when I was in my anxious fight or flight all the time, I was never here, never really soaking up all these tiny amazing things, even just like clouds moving past. Yesterday I took the most amazing swim. I was like pushing myself again out of my comfort zone, going for a swim on my own. I really felt like I need to move and do something and be again present. So I went for a swim. Always a bit scary for me because I'm still a little bit body conscious. I put on so much weight over the last 2 years since I'm living here in Italy, and the most amazing things happened. Just like 1-2 meters away from me, there was this flying fish, literally a whole swan in front of me. And we've seen them before here in Sicily. And because we're going paddleboarding, my partner and I, quite frequently, like every weekend. But this time they were actually in front of me while I was just swimming in the sea. Because I was pushing myself a little bit further, trying to swim more outwards. Because I used to have a huge fear against like darkness underneath me when I was swimming. So I was like, you know what? Let me try to go out a little bit further on my own. So I was like swimming maybe 100, 200 meters far away from the beach, and no one was really there. And I was getting a little bit scared. Like, my heart rate was increasing when I was like seeing fish underneath me. And I don't know if you know the thing that when you see waves in front of you and they make everything look so much bigger. So there were fish who suddenly seemed like huge. And I was like, oh my God, what if it's not a tiny fish? What if it's like this huge thing? I was just trying to like slow down, to breathe slowly, and I calmed myself down as well. And I'm very proud of myself. And then these most amazing things happened. These flying fish were shooting out of the water. And I was tears came over my face. It sounds very cringy, but like, in the past, I would have like suppressed my tears and my emotions. I was holding back everything. That's what that's what we do. But like, I was like, I'm just allowing myself to feel this most amazing moment. Just being there. I just stayed in the water for I think 2 hours because it kept happening. Those fish came back all over. And I think I saw like 6 or 7 of these swans. Swans? No, like lots of these fish flying in front of me. And some of them even stayed on the surface, like lots of little tiny dolphins. They were not dolphins, they were little fish, but like they moved like dolphins. I just literally followed them. And oh my God. Anyway, okay, too much. But like, connect with the present moment. And the more you're staying present in the here and now, you're more able to like regulate yourself and your nervous system. And when your body feels safe, your mind can also open up to new, healthier ways, new, healthier beliefs. Like I always used to believe I'm not capable of going to the beach on my own, not capable of spending time alone away from my partner because it wouldn't be fun, it would be too scary, I couldn't handle this. A huge belief of anxious attachment style is that we can't handle strong emotions, that we're not capable of things. But the more you're regulated and in the moment, you're able then to challenge your old beliefs. So the more now I spend time in nature, no matter if it's swimming, going for a walk, if it's not too hot here, and just being outside, for example, that is one way to regulate yourself. The more I then are open for new beliefs and can do the belief and mindset work. 8 is connection. Well, connection heals trauma. So safe, attuned relationships, whether with partners, coaches, therapists, friends, colleagues, even strangers outside, are powerful medicine. Secure people help your nervous system to learn what safety actually is, what safety feels like. Healing anxious attachment means building these safe connections as well. There's this quote, I'm going to blend it into the screen. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend your time with, something like this. And it's such a huge, huge step in creating a secure attachment style. If you're only surrounding yourself with drama, with hot and cold behaviors, with toxicity, no, with people who are treating you badly, you don't know that there are people out there who are actually good for you. If you watch people who communicate in an assertive, healthy way, if you're surrounding yourself with people who are really modeling healthy relationships, it just makes sense that you're then slowly more and more becoming that person as well, because then you can actually see what is possible, and it's possible for you too. It's literally like watching a script of this is how it can be, and then you can rehearse it already in your mind to move more towards that pattern. It's like, imagine you are raised with a family who eats burgers every day, 20 burgers, let's say. Okay, that's a crazy example, but imagine your family only eats fast food, 20 burgers every day. The chance that you also eat burgers is very likely. However, imagine then later you move into a flat share where everyone eats only salads and very healthy and is very mindful. What are the chances then that you also at least include 20-30% of their behavior, of their healthy lifestyle? Very likely, right? So it's really, really important that you spend your time with healthy connections, with secure people. And if you think right now, wait, I don't have anyone around me who models these healthy relationships, you don't have to spend real connection with real people. Books can help as well. Podcasts, videos, movies. If you only watch movies about people who are treating each other badly, this will also influence you. Anything in your environment that is helpful, like what you're doing right now. And 9, trauma hijacks time. You relieve old pain as if it's happening right now. So what do I mean with this? So like after a fight or after some distance from your partner, your nervous system might be replaying old abandonment wounds from your past. In that moment though. So that gut-wrenching feeling you might be experiencing isn't just about what's happening right now, it's actually about the old thing, the original trigger from when probably your dad has abandoned you when you were 3 years old, or when you felt a perceived abandonment from your parents, when they were not responding to you as fast or as well as you wished. So you think in the moment it's your partner who's really creating all the pain, but it's actually your parents or your environment in that moment. And it feels like so real and so triggering because your body, you feel the same bodily experience. So your body shows the same symptoms because you're literally transforming yourself in the past. You're in the same nervous system state as when you were triggered back then, when you were like 3 years old or 5 years old. So no wonder why you see adults nowadays who are literally acting like children, because they are, their body is. So understanding this can really help you to respond with compassion instead of panic, and to realize, you know what, this is not about my partner. This is not about them doing this thing right now. It's a little bit, but it's mostly about my mom, my dad, my environment, and maybe even this perceived thing. For me, it was like I was always hypersensitive to everything, which made the world seem super scary. And I had these allergies that made me think I was being, abandoned and rejected and nobody cared for me, even though that wasn't true. So it helps me to realize I am loved, I'm, cared for, and I'm not being abandoned or rejected. Excuse me, I need to drink something. And now the last point. Number 10, ownership and compassion is really the key for long-term healing. So it's not your fault that you are the way you are right now, that you have your wounds, that you have an anxious attachment style, that you feel insecure, that you have a fear of abandonment or rejection or whatever is going on in your life, right? Your upbringing and your past is not your fault, but it's now your responsibility to heal. Blaming your partner or blaming your parents is not going to help. You will only keep those old emotions stuck inside you. And realizing, hey, you know what, this is your life still. This is your relationship, and you have still so many years and moments to live. And it's now time to make a decision. Do you want to keep re-triggering yourself and keep re-triggering your old wounds? Or do you look forward and try to see what can you do right now? The faster you realize, you want to release the emotions from your body and forgive the past and look forward, the faster you can take action and realize you are the creator in your life, and that's your healing journey. Healing is not an end goal. It's just, you take it one day at a time and you just progress. And when you say, I didn't cause this, but I'm going to heal it, you create the inner power within yourself. You're going to feel so much more empowered when you realize you can create a difference and you can transform your version of yourself and step into your best version. And healing anxious attachment is about rewiring your body first and your mind afterwards with kindness and patience, and not telling yourself you're broken or you're wrong or there's anything wrong with you. Even if you have an anxious attachment style, even if you have an insecure attachment style, whatever part you are feeling right now, there's nothing wrong with you and you don't have to change as well. But for me, healing or transforming my parts is more about making it easier for myself to see that those emotions are not turning it against me, because for years I avoided all of these things, which I didn't even know at that time. And the moments when I had the migraines and everything, my life had to change. There was a huge wake-up call for me. And there might be not a proof that my anxious attachment style had something to do with this one-on-one, but it just makes sense. It makes so much sense that if you're living in survival and anxiety and worrying all of your life so much and playing small and hiding, that you can feel it in your body and it will have consequences. And there's nothing wrong with learning to process your emotions and feeling it. And it sounds scary, but for me, doing this was so much easier than to suffer the migraines, attacks, and everything else. I'm not going to say migraines will become less because of this, but they did for me with the medication on top. So please seek professional help if you need to, from a doctor or whoever, and just take care of yourself and read the book as well, of course, because this is not a direct summary from the book. This is just like my interpretation. So just remember that your body isn't your enemy. It's a messenger. And healing isn't just mindset work. It's letting your body finally feel safe enough to stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. And if this lands with you, just share underneath the YouTube video what you've noticed about your body, perhaps how your anxiety shows up for you, what you've tried so far and what worked. And I would love to hear from you and connect with you to see that I'm not just talking into the void. And check out my attachment library. There's lots of free resources and cheat sheets and guides and all of this stuff. And there's also mini courses like the Stop Overthinking relationship course with your avoidant partner and 4 steps, the text anxiety course to help you stop obsessing over delayed text, over what they have said to you or not said to you or should have said, and to stop you from double and triple texting and just being glued to your phone, because that's a waste of your time. Because their communication is not really the problem. It's your anxiety and how you respond to it. And if you want personalized one-on-one support, for example, for my text and talk support, like a monthly subscription where we message back and forth, and I can also leave you voice messages through WhatsApp or Telegram, or my highest touch point coaching support, my 4 or 8 month coaching container, hop on a free call with me. It's just like a 30-minute call where we talk about your situation and then I can see which program fits the best and if you are a good match for any of it, because I only want to support you and guide you if you're a good match, and to ensure we are on the same page. And thank you so much for being with me here today. Remember, change in your relationship starts with you, thought by thought, action by action, and now episode by episode. Lots of love, Hula. Bye bye.